Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the episode of Tatami Talk. My name is Juan. This is my player Anthony. This is a judo podcast for judo players by two judo players. So, Anthony, you and I both are a little ill. We're both not feeling the best. Okay, you went to an outside party last night. I just been on set where it's freezing this past few weeks.
Yes.
So we're both a little sick. So if you hear us like sniffling, sneezing,
For me, it's mostly my throat.
So if you hear us, just be like, it's not the air quality here in Los Angeles. Oh, that's another thing.
Actually, I think it is.
I think it's on air quality too.
I did have a what? Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about it.
I just want to put it out there. Me and Anthony are safe and sound here in LA.
I'm recording this from hell right now with Juan.
Well, I don't know about you, but me. So me and Anthony both live in LA proper. That means that I live in the city of LA. Mm-hmm. Anthony lives in more suburbs, southern part of LA, near the beach more. Okay. We do not live in the outskirts, foresty, grassy area. We don't have money, so we don't live in the Palisades either. Okay. So we are safe. Los Angeles proper is not on fire. Okay. The Hollywood sign is not on fire.
Well, Hollywood Hills was on fire.
The hills were, not the sign. Downtown is not on fire. Our outskirts area, the LA improper, I like to call it. Yes, there are some fires out there. We put our hearts out. We put our hearts out to people that are out there. We actually know some people that are affected by it, and we've been I've been helping some people that I know and stuff. And it's just don't get worried about me and Anthony. Like, we're safe, we're sound, we're okay and stuff. And you hear in the news like LA's on fire. No, LA County's on fire. It's funny because I actually got mad the other day because someone posted a video of actually I got mad at 3 videos the other day. One video was
politics. I don't want to talk about politics.
No, it's the fires. It wasn't politics, it was the fires. Okay. One video was like, it was a video of Hollywood Boulevard, just normal, and they showed another video of Hollywood Boulevard now. And it's like, and it's showing the beach area that's all charred up and burned, and it's like that's not even the same area.
I know. The media's been doing a really bad job on that front, as always. But
the another one I saw was one of the Hollywood Hills was on fire. Some CG Hollywood Hills, the Hollywood sign was on fire. I'm like, it's not. I'm looking at it right now. I can see it outside my window. It is not on fire. It is fine. There's no char around it.
My family, my Chinese family has been sending around like the WhatsApp chain messages kind of crap, TikTok stuff. And it's like, oh, look at this Hollywood sign on fire. And I looked at it. Something's off about it. And then it was like Hollywood with 3 O's.
3 O's, Hollywood. Woo! No, so
like,
my cousins,
AI generated.
All my cousins are sending me stuff like, "What, are you okay? Hey, you can go on an Airbnb if you need to. If you need any help, you can come visit us. Hey, just come back to the Bay for a little while if you need to." It's like, I'm fine. I live in the city.
Drive through the fire to go to the
Yeah, they don't understand that. I sent them a picture of like where the fires are and where I live. And they still were like, well, if you need anything, Juan, let us know. I was like, I'm good. Thank you. The last one that got me upset is someone posted a video from the riots, like during COVID, during the riots of like cops and people just burning building and stuff, and people are like, look at Los Angeles on fire and the cops aren't even doing anything. I'm like, that's from the riots 5 years ago. That's not even now.
Man. Dead internet theory. That's all I gotta say.
Well, like I said, Facebook took off their fact checker, right?
Yeah, let's not get into that. Let's stick to the USA Judo shit talking.
Oh, that's enough of that. But yes, we're safe, we're sound. Hollywood Judo still standing, Hollywood Judo still here, and we are still open, okay? So if you're in the LA area during the fires, you want to roast some marshmallows, make some s'mores, come to Hollywood Judo. We'll have fun.
Yeah, I was teaching class on Wednesday when the fire broke out, like right after, and my throat was like hurting. The air quality wasn't that good. And surprisingly, some people showed up, and what was it? Oh, a couple of our students mid-class got the evacuation order because of the fire at Hollywood Hills, and they lived at like right underneath there. So luckily they put that fire out fast. So
yeah, it's like a 12-hour evacuation period. But
yeah,
it was funny because I've been working on this show at Warner Brothers the past like almost month and a half, almost 2 months now. I've been working at Warner Brothers pretty much. And you can like the first day we're walking the set, we're walking across the bridge, and like I can see the glowing from the Altadena fire, and it's like, wow, it's really not that far away. And we ended up closing that day and stuff the first day when it was the worst.
Well, scary. Like it's like within like there's there's so many stories I heard from people where they're like, "Oh, it's fire, yeah, they'll blow it out," and like 2 hours later, like my house is gone. Like, so it's a scary shit indeed.
Yeah.
I'm actually I have an emergency bag, but I'm like in the process of updating that stuff. So, I was actually working on I was working on the part. So advertisement Substack, the Ukemi first part of the Ukemi series is out. I got some positive feedback. We could talk about this some other time, but I was working on part 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then the fire happened and all that stuff, so that got delayed. And then I uploaded the video, I edited and uploaded it, and then one of our listeners and my friend Victor introduced me to this game. He's like, "Let's play." So I played the game with them all night, and well, not all night, but till pretty late instead of updating that. But yeah, I need to spend some time actually setting up emergency supplies, and I have water in the garage, but it's been there for like 2 years, so I need to like empty it out and replace the water and all that kind of stuff. So there's just a lot of stuff to handle,
Just in case.
just in case. Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, Anthony, so now we got through the scary part for our fans to let us know that we're all okay. How you doing?
Man, it's just been so crazy with the new year. Like we ended the last year talking about how, okay, this year I'm gonna train, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then as I started training, I had the sciatic nerve issue, and then the fire happened, and I stopped using an inhaler finally, right? And then with the
Oh, right
fires,
during the fires?
right after the fire started, I had to use an inhaler again. So I just stopped using an inhaler again this last week. So just started training again last week. So knock on wood, hopefully this is all that's going to happen, and nothing else is bad's going to happen. So let's just keep it that way. Yeah.
So I was debating if I was going to put this out there or not, but I guess it's
am I going to have to edit this out?
No. It's just I'm not going to celebrate it for probably till I get back from Japan, most likely, I think.
Okay.
Just because of my work schedule. So we put it out there that, yeah, I applied for my 4th Dan. We sent it out to USJA. I was like, let's see if they approve it or not and stuff. And they approved it. So I am officially...
wow, they actually believed them.
Believe me, what are you talking? You're the one cheating, boo. Bro, you're the one cheating, man, okay? You're the one that's like, hey, Juan, look, I got points to a 3rd Dan now. Dude, you just got your 2nd, brah.
I don't I just did the math. It's until July. So July, I should be able to apply for it. So
yeah. So it's like officially, I think it was it Monday? Was it official I got promoted? I think it was Monday.
I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah. You tell me.
You don't remember. So I think it was Monday. Philippe got the email or something saying that I got it. And then later that night, they sent me a message. And then I got the PDF file of the certificate the next day on Tuesday. But on my profile and everything, it's like I've been promoted to 4th Dan. So yay, 4th Dan. I probably won't do like Philippe wants to do like a little ceremony for me and stuff, get sushi, do photos, do all that. But since I'm working so much on this show, I don't know when I'm gonna be at the dojo again. So we probably won't do it or celebrate it. And I still got to get certificates still until I get back from Japan. So, which is funny. When I go to Japan, I don't even want to stay for like on 4th Dan or nothing. Like
you should
I'm still 3rd.
Get that red and white belt and wear it at the Kodokan.
I am not a red and white. I would have to get, remember, it's USJA.
No, red and black. Sorry, red and black.
I get a checkered belt, red and black belt, and wear that at the Kodokan. Look like a fool. I'm sorry, guys. You want to know what? They didn't send me a red and black belt. I remember the first time I saw that belt at a coaching conference. We were at this coaching meeting stuff. We were at the on mat stuff, and I saw a guy wearing that belt, and I was like, "What is that? I've never seen that belt before." I went.
You mean the very first time you saw it?
Yeah, the very first time, because I never saw one. Like I never really saw one in judo. Like, I've seen, I guess, in other martial arts, but I never saw one in judo. So I went up to the guy and I was like, "Excuse me, sir, what's the belt that you have right there?" I was like, "Oh, this is a USJA 4th and 5th degree black belt. I was given this by Gary Golds personally." And I was like, "Oh, that's really so in USJA you get a red and black belt." I was like, "Yeah, 4th and 5th get a red and black belt." I was like, "Interesting. Never heard of that before." Because
I'm really curious how they came up with that.
Well, I think the only other time I've seen that is in Kempo. Because I think Kempo does that.
That would make sense if they took it from American Kempo.
Maybe. Because I think that's the only other style I've seen it in Kempo. And I actually seen it a few times in BJJ, but they were all kinds of color belts nowadays.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's official. Fourth degree black belt. Yay,
All right.
Juan. So that's a little bit of news about us. So do you want to talk about the coaching stuff, or do you want to get into the anything else before that?
Let's talk about the coaching stuff. I also, if we have time, we can talk about the hot topic. I was gonna wait till like we have guests on. We talked about having a guest come on, but fell through. I think he's busy traveling right now, so that didn't happen. We talked about last episode, but we can talk about the Hanpan TV videos if you want to. Like I don't think it's actually judo drama, but you watched the video, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
I watched all the recent videos right now and we can talk about our thoughts on it. So if we have time. Yeah.
We'll see. Okay, so as some of you know, we had a friend of the channel, Robert Eriksson, come on the show. He was the head instructor for the Swedish national team.
Swiss.
I know. Well, I'm getting the sauce already. Getting ahead of myself. Yeah. So he's part of the Swedish national team. Was a friend of Sensei Philippe's. We gone and trained him before when he comes to USA. He'll train with us. So he got a job as one of the coaches for the USA Judo program to be part of a special program in North Carolina. What's the name of the program again, Anthony?
National Development, National Training Center, High Performance Training Center, or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was hired. He was hired to be the head coach there. He moved here. He brought his family over and stuff. He was living there in North Carolina. At first, he was going to be just the location coach, and he turned to like being a tournament coach where he would actually go to tournaments with people and stuff. And he was there for what I want to say a year and a half.
Coming in February is going to be a year.
It's only been a year. Wow.
Yeah.
So he's been there for a year, and stuff didn't work out. Situations happen, things happen, and it's very tough to come from another country to another country for their judo program.
Let's not beat around the bush.
Okay, he left USA. He got a better job with the Swiss national team. So he's leaving the US. He's going to go become a coach there instead. It's going to be closer for him for his own for his family anyway. He could go from Swiss to Sweden back and forth, then going from the USA over there. We're sad to see him go. I was really hoping that he would stay longer, help out our program because he did very well on his own national team. But shit happens and he's gone. So Anthony, what do you think about this?
I want to preface that by, even though Sensei Philippe's friends with him and we had him on the show and everything, we don't know any inside information.
Yeah, and we really don't.
Even if we did, we wouldn't like leak it out like that. But I kind of, I didn't want to say it because it sounds kind of mean, but I didn't think he would last because of all the politics and stuff that we all know. USA Judo's part of it. And we were all surprised that he chose to come here in the first place, which is why when he came on the show, we were asking him so much like, why are you here? And he's like, I want a challenge and something interesting.
Oh, you can get some challenges.
Like, yeah, but I honestly think he underestimated how fragmented and incompetent. I said this on Reddit already. I think he underestimated how fragmented the judo community is here and how incompetent some of the leadership are. So yeah. I think that's I think one or the other would have been okay, but when you have both, it's kind of like, because I sometimes I feel like that too, like with certain things, not just in judo, just in work and career and life in general. It's like, why would I do so much work to help you? I'm not getting paid a lot of money or not paid at all. Why would I do so much work when you're actively fighting against me to try and help you solve this problem? Right.
Yeah.
So don't blame him. I mean, I kind of a lot of people expected it. Not surprised that he was
he came with a good resume. He's done a lot for his own national team. Maybe he's gonna come here, help us out, develop our program, teach us how to do stuff right or do us stuff to make it better. But it's just the US is huge. People don't realize how goddamn big we are. We are a huge country with a lot of people. When I tell people we have 3 major federations, they're like, you have 3? Most countries have 1. They'll have like one major one and maybe a secondary one, but it's mostly just 1 usually. Yeah. So when we have 3 of them, that's already splintering us so much. But we are a huge country with a lot of people with a lot of ideas. And the sad thing is that you would think that since we're so damn big, we would have such a bigger pool of great judo players. but we don't because we don't push judo that much in our what I say, like younger people. It's not just a popular sport, you know. So bringing someone in to help develop it and make it bigger with the sports science and all the stuff behind it, and look what he did with the Yang brothers and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
okay, cool, but the politics just got too much. Probably, you know, we have too many people want to put their own spin on it, or it's like I want to do it my way, and that's a hard thing coming from another country to the U.S. or just any country, I think, and taking a head coaching position. That's always a funny thing. People always bring up, well, why don't you just hire a Japanese coach? Why don't you just hire an
That will never work.
ex-Olympian?
Yeah.
It's what you hear that, you know. I've heard that at my own coaching stuff when I go places, when I go to
So
meetings. It's always,
when I was a green belt, I think. No, I was green or orange belt when this was years ago. I went to either nationals or it was in Texas basically. I don't remember if they held nationals there that year,
mhm,
but there was a really, let's just say, famous Japanese guy competing. He was on the mat competing, and I was watching alongside with other people because he's famous, so a lot of people were watching. And the kind of comments I heard from some of these coaches that are, I'm not going to say who, but they're like well known.
mhm,
It's just like, I can't believe you say stuff, something like that about someone. It's almost like they're saying it out of envy, but
mhm.
at the same time, it's like, come on, why are you saying stuff like that? So, um, and that's why I don't think hiring a Japanese coach or I guess like, I'm trying to be careful what I say here. But yeah, I don't think hiring a Japanese coach would work because they would never allow him or her to succeed, basically.
Yeah. Well,
Based
I don't
off
think
of all the other stuff.
well, I don't think they would allow any foreigner that came over, whether it's Japanese, French, Italian, German, Chinese, Korean, whatever, Brazilian, anyone from outside the country to come in and succeed. I don't think no one would let them succeed.
That's
I think
pretty bold to say that, but
I do because I just think
I can see that.
they're so like, we're Americans. We have this American way. We fight different. We're an American judo system here. We,
Certain people have said that too. Like
yeah.
we, like other stuff that has worked elsewhere is not going to work here, which is very different from what we're saying. But some people do believe that, and um, I don't know. Again, my point of view is, even if I disagree, which there are a lot of things I disagree with, I wouldn't actively sabotage someone's like attempt at it, you know.
Mhm.
But um, yeah, I don't know what the way forward is. It's really looking bleak for what there's a little now. It's 2025, so there's less than 3 years.
Yeah. And we got to
Yeah,
fill a whole team. And you know, since we're Americans, and we're having Olympics here, we're gonna think, oh, we have a full team. We're gonna get all these judo medals. Like, no, we're not. We're not gonna get all these medals.
like we
Okay.
we joked about it in a previous episode, but I literally feel like if they just put down a bunch of mats in Death Valley and then like a tent, and then it's like, okay, this is a neutral area for everyone to train at, then
Mm.
if you want to get funding, you got to come here. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's like,
Make it like a pro sport.
yeah, it doesn't, at this point, I agree with Robert Eriksson when he said, if there's one thing he could do with a magic wand, what would it be? And he said, everyone to train at the same spot.
Mhm.
Like, that is like, I totally agree that is one thing that should happen. And at that point, it doesn't matter who the coach is. I might be speaking out of my depth here, but um, I think getting all the athletes to train in one spot is more important than who the coach is. So I think you can just like not have a head coach and it wouldn't really make a difference.
That'd be interesting. But I
Yeah.
do agree with getting everyone to train in the same spot, though.
Sorry, not make a difference, but it wouldn't help as much having like a great head coach as proven already. Like
Mhm.
it wouldn't make much of a difference compared to having everyone train in one spot.
Well, it would make more sense because even with now, there being whoever the head coach is at any time in the USA Judo system, like, yeah, you're the head coach, but you're not training all the US athletes.
Yeah,
You
you
have
don't. Some of them don't even know
who the head
like
coach is, or have ever trained with them, or know more than
yeah,
just going
that's
to
what
a
I mean. They
clinic.
don't know their athlete, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't know what they're good at or bad at, or what they need to work on, or hey,
Mhm.
watch out with this guy. You know, they don't. They don't train with each other. They need to all train in one place. And it's so hard to get people to train in this sport at one place because we're not, again, then it goes out to funding where it's like we're not paying our athletes enough. We're not giving enough money or supporting them enough. And
Yeah, and with the upcoming, we talked about this in our rules episode. The requirement for the head coaches upcoming is
Mhm.
to take that $900
Oh,
university course.
me and Philippe were talking about that the other day. We were joking about it. And I was like, you got to take that. If our guys still want to go to the IGF Masters World Championships, you got to take that course.
I don't see that on the list so far.
Oh, so far? So far.
Yeah,
Let's see what they
so
added.
far it's not. But I think seniors and juniors and all that stuff, you have to take it. But yeah. So after USA Judo announced it, well, let's separate the topic. So we were all wondering where Robert Eriksson would end up on. Spoiler alert, since you already said it, he's going to Switzerland, right?
What's the spoiler? He put it out there already. He put it on his gram.
Well, some people don't know that. He didn't
How
actually.
do you not know that?
Because he posted a story. He shared a story of his wife saying that they're going to Switzerland.
Oh my God, where else are they going to? Oh, I can't read between the lines here.
Yeah, but it's not like an official announcement on his like Instagram page or anything like that. So some people who don't like check his stories or aren't on Instagram, which a lot of older judokas aren't, wouldn't know that he's going. And also the USA Judo official news release doesn't say where he's going.
Mm-hmm.
So
of course, I'm going to say where he's going.
Well, my point is we have to announce it in this podcast that he's going to Switzerland. All right.
Yes.
Being so facetious.
I expect people to read between the lines and keep up with everything online. Okay.
Well, this was before TikTok was banned, so.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Anthony. You finally got your wish.
Yes, well, it's temporary, but let's not get into that. Anyway, so after USA Judo announced it, they posted a job description for National Development Team head coach
in North Carolina.
Yeah, so not gonna read this whole thing, right?
Dude, read the whole thing, man.
So responsible for athlete pipeline for judo in the United States, developing America's Olympic and Paralympic athlete. So I guess like with this thing, it means that the program in North Carolina is still going to keep going and the money's going to still be there. So that's good. Primary responsibilities: work with high performance director to manage the resident program to include creating a culture and philosophy successfully develop the next generation of USA Judo elite athletes and ambassadors. Yeah. Establish a positive training environment including the dojo, strength and conditioning, housing, schooling, employment, community service, and support services for a residential athlete. That's like being all these athletes' parents, basically.
Yeah, you're like a den mother or den father.
Well, you're like, okay, you gotta feed them, you gotta house them, you gotta school them.
You gotta make sure everyone stays in the same apartment complex. Okay, I want USA Judo to buy an apartment complex in North Carolina. That way I could live there and all my athletes can live there together.
So you gotta create athlete application criterias, performance measurements, initial ongoing recruitment of prospects, and annual evaluation of the resident athletes. That's a lot of work, and I'm not even all the way through yet. Create short, medium, and long-term strategic training and competition planning of the resident program while providing daily coaching and supervision of athletes in training camps, and competition. Provide progress reports to the national office upon request. Work closely with the USPC staff to include strength and conditioning, sports medicine, nutrition, sports psychology. So, okay, so it's not all up to you, but you got to work with the US, I guess, Olympic. I don't forgot what USPC stands for. USPC, United States Pony Clubs. What?
Pony Clubs. That's interesting.
I don't know. Basically, I assume it's like the performance centers staff.
Political correctness club.
So I think it's to basically work with the National Training Center staff to fulfill the athletes' needs, right? Organization, execution of daily training schedule, prepare the annual budget, work closely with regional and local clubs to provide clinics and camps, attend all USA Judo national events, and other duties as assigned, all right? So all that, and the salary range is 60 to 70K.
In North Carolina.
Yeah, but still, I wouldn't. That's crazy. Like,
am I paying for all my flights to all these tournaments and stuff?
I'm sure they are, but they probably get a budget on how to spend it. Yeah, I don't know who's gonna who's
So
going to take this?
if anyone out there is interested in applying for this job in USA Judo, Anthony, where can they apply at?
So, okay. First of all, you got well, you have to email to Ed Liddy, but that's another thing to consider, right? I know there's a lot of coaches out there that don't like Ed Liddy.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to it's like just like the pool of candidates is just shrinking, right? If your boss is going to be Ed Liddy. That 60-70K range, unless you work, I'm just thinking if you're a successful coach and like let's say you're Jimmy Pedro, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna basically have to leave your dojo that you're running successfully
Mm-hmm.
to take a job that I'm assuming this is less than what Jimmy Pedro makes, I assume, in his dojo, or equal, and do all this extra work and have like a boss and not be your own boss,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So I'm trying to think who would take this job.
Would you apply for it? Do you want to apply for it?
I would not, because well, one, I make way more than that, right? So the money's definitely not a motivator for me. And then I already talked about before how why would I help someone? Because if I'm not getting paid for that much for it, that means I'm helping you do something, right?
Yeah.
So why would I help someone if I gotta have to actively fight against people that are trying to sabotage me?
They'll
I don't
dangle
know.
that third dawn in front of you. Hey, have you want that third dawn?
I don't know. I don't think I'm qualified to coach some of the stuff. Like I don't think I meet all the requirements. Because I've never trained high level athlete and stuff, but I'm pretty confident with like progress reports, training regimens, sports science stuff, like all that stuff. I can make it happen. Like, because you're working with the USPC staff, so I could like take that and put it in a judo context.
Mm-hmm.
Organization management, execution of daily training schedule, all that stuff I can do all that stuff. But I don't think I qualified to like be like a high level coach at all. But joke, what would you say? Some of the people at the dojo actually jokingly said I should apply for it. I'm like, I don't qualify, because here's the minimum qualifications, right?
Okay.
Proven ability and knowledge to transition, develop athletes from local to international competition levels. Like,
Totally. We got Ramiro.
and I was going to say Hamido is the only person I could probably kind of claim I did a little bit of
we can sneak
help
Brian
on.
in there too. Why not?
I would say I bought judo gis, signed up for all the events, and made sure all the documents are in place. Because we talked about how some people went unprepared to the international tournament, but Hamido was like really well prepared, mostly because of what I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you can say I have ability and knowledge to transition from local to international. Ability to coach able-bodied athletes and visually impaired. So I don't have that with visually impaired. Why is this becoming a job interview for me? I did say I was looking for jobs, huh?
This is fun. That's why, because I ain't taking this job.
Demonstrate competent judo technical knowledge and ability as well as coaching and instruction. I mean, I guess I run a beginners program, and we have the unsafe series, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So experience in coaching athletes at the national and international levels, don't have that, right? Bachelor's degree preferred. I have a bachelor's. 5 years experience as a head judo coach, don't have that.
Don't have that.
Exemplary organizational skills and attention to detail, I have that.
Oh, you
ability,
got that, brother.
yeah, ability to manage multiple projects and priorities, definitely have that. Like, excellent oral and written communication skills, I don't have that. That's why I started Substack, to work on that. Creative thinker, innovative. I know how to use Microsoft Office. Confidentiality of information. I mean, what do you think?
Throw your hat in, man. Just submit. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Anyway, above all that, I wouldn't move to North Carolina, so pointless for me. But yeah, I'm really curious who would follow all these requirements, or whether they would just let this thing leave unfilled.
No, they spent, this is my opinion just on this, because they spent so much money on this, building this, getting kids there to go to school and do all this, that they have to fill the position. Even if they just have a temporary coach right now, that even if they just go from temporary to temporary to temporary.
Imagine they brought in a BJJ.
Oh my God. But this is my question about this. Now, Robert Eriksson was from Sweden. Okay, so they brought an outside person in.
Mhm.
Do you think that they would bring another outside person in right now, or are they trying to look for within, like another American, or at least someone that's been in the U.S. for a long time?
I think the fact that Robert Eriksson left is kind of what do you call it? People will see this and be like, "Oh, even he gave up. Why would I do that?" You know. So, I don't think so. Even if they want to bring someone in, I doubt anyone will come unless they're from a country where they want to come to the U.S. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So we might see like maybe like Azerbaijan or something. Like I don't know, some country where they want to. There's a lot of, because we get emails from people all the time asking us to sponsor their.
Oh,
They're like,
yeah.
So I can see something like that happen.
What's that Mongolian player that lives in the U.S. now as a truck driver?
Yeah. That's not. I'll tell you about the story regarding.
There's a funny story about that
after.
one. But I would say, like,
It's not funny, but it's not going to happen. I'll tell you that.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. So it's, my guess is it's going to be someone that we know already from before.
Someone's in the system already, or
maybe Israel Hernandez, maybe one of the Shintaros out there. Like we have like what, 3 Shintaros, like 2 Shintaros. I don't know.
Oh God, like Pokemon, they're multiplying. Oh no.
I don't know.
I choose you, Shintaro.
It's gonna be probably someone we know. But I think the main thing is the pay. You know, that's gonna really limit the pool of people. And as someone who has job searched and hired people before, like, we all know the job description is not hard requirements. Like, so they can be like, you know what, Anthony? I don't care that you don't have 5 years of experience as a head judo coach. We like Tatami Talk, so we're gonna have you run.
Can you and Juan come out to North Carolina? Like, no, Juan will not go to North Carolina. As much as Juan likes saying North Carolina, he will not go there.
Yeah, so I don't think it's gonna make a difference anyway. I'm very pessimistic ever since, even before they hired Robert Eriksson. I was very pessimistic just looking at the state of, I guess, just the gossip I heard of how what the coaches think about each other, all the big names, and what I see at national tournaments going on, and everyone's just kind of doing their own thing. So we'll just have to hope for a miracle to happen. Not that I care whether we medal or not, but yeah.
Well, this is just like that. What was that judo program that we stole from Canada called? The PC,
judo
whatever.
Program. The AJDM.
Yes, the HADM. You know,
I wouldn't say they stole it from Canada, but
borrowed heavily.
Not that they follow it anyway, but
no, but I'm saying it's like another thing. It's another thing that they saw work in other countries. They thought they're going to bring it to the U.S. They're going to try to bring it to the U.S. at least. And either no one followed it or no one followed up with it. Because remember, they put it out there, but there's nothing about like, oh, we're gonna do clinics and classes and seminars about this stuff, but they never did. Now you may blame that it was during the pandemic.
So you're talking about the Nanka thing.
No, it wasn't Nanka. It's the thing that USA, was it USA Judo or was it USJ?
No, Nanka had an agreement with Judo Canada on.
No, that was Judo Canada coming
athletes
down.
No, that back and forth. I thought you were talking about that.
No. We're talking about the HJDM thing. That one.
HJDM. Well, they never. They only did that because the Olympic Judo Committee required that they have something like that. And they're just basically, and then so I knew that was going to be just a one and done thing, but can't say that at the time. So, yeah, we're fucked. But we should just focus on what we can do at a grassroots level. And by grassroots, I don't mean tournaments. I mean local dojos. We need more dojos. Need more instructors. So we just do what we can to help grow judo.
And here at Hollywood Judo, we're open 7 days a week now. So You can find a class somewhere to fit your schedule.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
sounds like such a Debbie Downer now. Let's talk about something
I know.
happier. What do you want to talk about now?
Let's talk about the Hampan TV stuff.
Okay, I haven't even seen it, man. It's been so long since I watched that thing.
You just told me you watched it.
I lied to you.
Sorry to interrupt your local judo podcast. To interrupt with this breaking news. As you guys can see, we're here at the dojo. There was some breaking judo news and USA Judo stuff. We were already talking about Robert Eriksson, so some more judo news happened. We're just gonna add this in. So don't be worried that we're here at the dojo. Everything's good. All right. So Anthony, what happened?
Just taught class. No, I'm just kidding.
What the heck?
So USA Judo has replaced Keith Bryant with Corinne Shigemoto, right?
Uh-huh.
So for those who don't know, Corinne was previously the COO for USA Judo.
Yeah.
Before, as far as I know, before she left for USJA. I thought she was working for USJA for a while.
She was like there for a cup of coffee, it seems.
Yeah, I'm sorry if that sounds a little stalkerish, but I was looking at her LinkedIn profile.
Oh,
and
watch out now.
It seemed like my guess at the time was that she was going to help USJA set up their streaming services, because that was around the same time that just streaming and marketing in general, because that was around the same time when USJA, with their previous board, not the current board, because remember they're playing musical chairs with their board members. That was around the same time when they talked about running their own national tournament, sending their own national team abroad,
Yes.
and that kind of stuff. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. We talked about that,
That
yeah.
little, what's the nice way to put it? Delusional thoughts of grandeur.
Delusions of grandeur, yes.
Yeah, so we talked about how it's like, how are you going to make this work, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the current board, just to clarify, all right? So anyway, that was what I thought was the previous things. But now they announced they're going to replace Keith Bryant with Corinne.
So is Keith Bryant
yeah.
stepping down fully, or is he just going to take a lesser position?
I think it's just gone.
He's just gone.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people had a problem with Keith Bryant because he was an outsider guy. He wasn't a judo guy. He was a business guy. And he did a lot of work trying to fix stuff.
Let's give him a little more credit to his resume. So he actually helped, I forgot what sport, but he worked with the Olympics.
Yeah.
In another sport. So it's not that he's just like Donald Trump coming in.
No,
to,
but I mean that I know a lot of judo players when he first came in, a lot of instructors and coach at the time were like, he's not a judo guy,
and
he doesn't know our stuff.
I still hear that, and I personally thought it was a great idea because right now, as many people know, like it's all about judo politics, who's in whose camp, like who's in whose team, and bringing in an outsider on one side, they're in a sense a more neutral party.
Yeah.
And in another sense, they might not know the politics and just trust the wrong people, right?
Well, it could be just thinking of someone coming with a clean slate, new eyes, fresh look.
Yeah, I think we mentioned in the past, I think people are too, again, based off of what I know, without knowing any insider information, I really don't. He did a phenomenal job, I thought. Not in growing judo, but keeping USA Judo afloat. Because remember, previous CEO left the USA Judo in the red.
Yeah.
Due to alleged accusations of embezzlement and mismanagement, right? So the fact that he brought USA Judo back into black, and also this is while COVID was going on, so there was no tournaments happening, many dojos were closed, so you can imagine a lot of people weren't paying their membership and they weren't getting revenue from tournaments.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal that he was able to get them back into black.
Yeah.
And then what's his name was complaining, saying he promised to raise $8 million and he only raised $4 million. Like,
Oh no, during
no.
a pandemic. Oh man. What a liar. Oh no.
yeah. So we mentioned that in the podcast episode
Yeah, we talked about
too.
this stuff before.
So that's just based off of what we know. Maybe he promised 8 million even after
I said
COVID.
I said 8 million yen. All right. I said yen, not
8
dollars.
million Zimbabwe dollars.
Zimbabwe dollar. I said doll hairs. Okay, doll hair.
So I think he did a great job. The only thing that I would criticize him for is not growing judo and doing some of the, let's just call it pet projects that happen. I was like, what are you thinking? Like approving this? And And I guess some people say that there wasn't money allocated to the athletes, and everyone knows my stance on that already. Like, I was just like, it's such a small pie that's continuing to shrink.
Yeah.
I think it's better off spent on marketing. But yeah, so Corinne.
So Corinne is stepping in now.
Yeah.
And some of you guys might know her because she used to be in charge of promotions. So
Yeah, she was with USA Judo for like 18 years. And
Yeah.
she did many things. And I think her last role was COO. And she also was in charge for promotions for a while.
I know that's why I remember her the most because of promotional stuff.
Well, yeah, you know why I remember her? Because she's one of the few people in USA Judo that are actually competent.
Oh, no.
Like she was only one that actually answers questions and answer, like in a normal manner versus now. I've talked about how every time I email USA Judo stuff, like I don't hear back for like a month.
Yeah.
And I ask 5 questions in an email and I get 1 back, and I'm to send another email and I get another 1 back. It's like pulling teeth, getting answers back. There's other problems that we ran with USA Judo while interacting with the.
Now she's coming in as CEO, and this is kind of interesting because was Keith president? So
No, Keith is CEO.
He was CEO? Okay.
Yeah.
I could have swore he was president. I was wondering, like, so they're getting rid of the president to bring a CEO. I thought that was kind of weird. But okay, so she's coming in as the head CEO now.
Yeah.
So that means that she's going to be overlooking everything for USA Judo, or she's going to allocate more stuff to different people?
So I have to look into the bylaws more and the roles and responsibility. But the CEO of any company or nonprofit answers to the board of directors. And we just had the board of directors election, and we just had that episode. Well, not just, but we had that episode with Matthew.
With the elections happening and people coming in and
stuff.
So
go listen to that episode if you want to learn about how that whole structure works. But basically, the CEO has to answer to the board of directors. And this is why I don't, as much as I like Corinne and as much as I think she's competent, I don't know where her politics in judo lies, but I don't see anything changing, basically. With 4 years, especially if you're looking at LA Olympics with 4 years to go, like, what are we going to do with that time?
It's not even 4 years. It's literally just like 3.5 pretty much. And
Yeah.
this is crazy that we're doing all this stuff in USA Judo. I know to international people, this might not be that interesting, but to us, as Americans and our federations and
It's
the Olympics coming
insane.
up, this is crazy that this is happening to us. You're changing CEO 3.5 years into your Olympic cycle that we're going to host the
speaking
Olympics.
of judo politics, which in general American politics is insane, but it's just crazy that this is all happening. But it's understandable if you just look at who won the elections. It's all people that wanted money for their own side of the team, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that Keith wasn't doing that, I guess.
Wasn't willing to allocate it to them?
I think that's the reason why they're getting rid of him. And I've heard some other crazy stories out there that I'm not going to repeat here that I've not seen evidence of. It's just like, again, allegations. So I don't know. I'm like, if that's true, why don't you air it all out? Like,
Well, remember we've heard this before when they will say, well, we'll email you the stuff, we'll send you the things, just ask questions. We're totally transparent. Anthony asked questions. They never send him nothing.
well, that wasn't USA Judo, but they're all the same, right?
Yeah.
They're all gonna cover their own butts. But I don't know what to make of this. I think it's funny because I just told you I got promoted at work.
Yeah.
And I'm handed like a disaster to deal with, and I have a tight deadline. So now if it fails, it makes me look bad because people have been ignoring what I was saying for the last like year. And now they're like, oh, we should have listened to you, so we'll promote you. But we're going to get rid of half the team, and you have like 8 months to do this now.
Now fix this.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like she is like set up to fail.
Well, it's also, talking about that way, do you think that people will hold her responsible if we don't medal at the Olympics?
There's
do you think they'll hold her responsible for this?
Well, you got to define what you mean by people, right? Because even people were blaming Keith for our last performance in the Olympics. I'm like, you weren't going to do any better anyway.
Yeah.
Like, people are blaming Keith for that. So there's going to be people that blame her for it too. If there's a reason for them to get rid of it, get rid of her. So she's going to have to play the politics game or whatever. So I really don't know what she can do with 4 years left to go. Again, if it was up to me, I would just get rid of her. Well, CEO can't get rid of everyone, but I would just at the very least, redirect the funds to market judo. But
Yeah.
that would piss off everyone and get her fired, basically. So
That's one thing we always say, that judo
Yeah.
needs better advertisement.
yeah, I think people need to stop pointing at the CEO as for USA Judo as the problem, because remember, the CEO has to answer to the board of directors.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
So with that was your little news break right there. So with that, let's go to your regular scheduled Judo Tatami Talk podcast.
Anything
Nope.
else? We're done?
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
All right. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow Anthony on the Substack. He's put a lot of work in that thing. Please go look at it and talk to him about it. Okay. He loves.
No,
talking about the
I'm not
Substack,
going to ask
okay?
people to do that. Just take a look. But I already had really productive conversations with, I think so far 70 people have read the article, and
That's great.
and I've gotten like at least 4 people messaging me about it. And it's when you read, I'm okay. This is how important it is that I get feedback from people. Once people give me feedback, I know what to write for the next part now, because I knew it when I wrote it that people are going to read this and be like, "Oh, I know this," right? But it's really not rocket science. But the hard part is, how do you apply it? So I'm thinking of maybe to record one of these days when a bunch of beginners show up, like first day. I'm probably going to ask them, "Hey, do you mind if I record this, like you training first time?"
Okay.
So maybe give them like $50 or something like that out of my own
$50
pocket.
each. Goddamn.
Yeah. And record it and go through my thought process. It's like, this is why we're doing this now. This is why we're doing this now, and track how they went from not knowing jack shit about how to fall to doing like a constrained randori. And this this actually happened last week, where I had like 1 orange belt and 6 people signed up, and Matt was like, "Did you all? Are you all friends? Did you show up at the same time?" They're like, "No, they just all separately decided to start judo that day." But by the end of class, they were doing randori. Yeah, I did not have not constrained randori, but they didn't have any prior judo experience except for one guy who did it as a kid for a bit. But yeah, so this is why the feedback's important, because it helps me understand what information to present. But yeah, Substack, go ahead.
Please go to his Substack. Please look at it. Please read it. Please reply to him about stuff. Okay. If you guys want to send us any questions, things you want to talk about, things you want us to look at, videos, whatever it can be, please send us to tatamitalk@gmail.com. You can follow us on YouTube at Tatami Talk. You can follow us on Instagram, Tatami Talk. You cannot follow us on TikTok no more because it doesn't exist in the US unless you put it on your laptop and get a VPN. But I do not suggest doing that.
It'll be back. As someone who wants it to get banned, it'll be back.
Or you can just download the Chinese one directly and just give them all your information from there.
Yeah.
You can follow me at the Jerry_Juan on Instagram. You can follow Anthony Throws on Instagram. And remember, always, 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 don't forget to
Slap the mat.